On, Chris. Oh, there I am. Good morning again, Amani. It's good to see you all. Welcome to the Amani Center. We're so glad you're joining us. So, our Sonny was going to be here to sing today, but she had a caregiver call in sick, which means she can't leave. So, we are bringing in some virtual music today, starting with our wonderful Amy Bishop. She always raises the vibe.
If you're feeling all alone, maybe lost or just confused, put your hands up. If you've got a broken heart and you're not sure what to do, put your hands up. If you lost someone along the way, somewhere along the road, put your hands up. So you know you're not alone, put your hands up. Go on and put your hands up. No matter the road, no matter how hard, put your hands up, put your hands up. Don't ever let go, you're never too far to put your hands up, put your hands up. What you waiting, what you waiting, oh, what you waiting for, wherever you are, put your hands up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you feel you're on a corner and your back's against the wall, put your hands up. If you've fallen onto harder times and you've got no one to call, put your hands up. If you're on the verge of giving up and you're all but out of hope, put your hand up. So you know you're not alone, put your hand up. Go on and put your hand up. No matter the road, no matter how far, put your hand up, put your hands up. You never let go, you're never too far to put your hands up, put your hands up. What you waiting, what you waiting, oh, what you waiting for, wherever you are, put your hands up. Whoa, 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 put your hands up. Whoa, 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 put your hands up. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? Put your hands up. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? Put your hands up. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? Put your hands up.
I love starting the day with Amy Bishop. She's so fun. All right, so welcome to the Amani Center. We are going to release the kids. So I'm not sure who's taking them today. Monica might be over there already. Is Monica right there? Okay. Is Gina, can you walk them over? Or someone? All right, you guys, Gina's going to take you over, and Monica's waiting with fun stuff to do. So have a great time, and we will see you afterwards. You're going to enjoy it. Awesome. Okay, so welcome to the Amani Center. A little bit about who we are. Well, first we'll start with our vision statement. So we're going to speak it aloud and use our outside voices, as Reverend Belinda said last week, and really remember why we're here. So let's do it together. We are lighting the path to peace together. And so that is why we show up here on Sundays. That's why we show up for classes. That's why we show up for concerts and all the events, so that we can be part of lighting this path to peace, whatever that path looks like for everyone. And we do it together in community, in collaboration. This is a little bit about who we are, an open and inclusive spiritual community that knows there are many paths to the divine. So whatever your path is, we're just happy to walk it with you, to have you here with us. Sometimes we're going to hold your hand and support you. Sometimes you're going to hold our hand and support us. And And that's how we do it all together, and that is just such a beautiful way to do it. So thank you for showing up for that. We're a place where you can learn and grow and be. You can take classes, which will help you to transform, to level up, as I like to say, keep becoming a better and better version of yourself, stepping more into your authentic, real self. Why did you come to the planet? What are you here for? That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to help empower you to do. And we're also a place sometimes just to show up. We're a safe and welcoming place where you can just be. Sometimes you just need to fill your cup, and you are always welcome to do that here, and we would love to help you do that, even if it's just providing you the space. We all need to do that. We need to take time for that self-care. All right, if you're here for the first time and you're comfortable and you'd like to just put your hand up, then Gina can bring you a little trifold we have that tells you a little more about the Amani Center. So if anyone is comfortable doing that, feel free. If not, if you're at home, she'll find you if you don't. If you're at home and it's your first time and you'd like to get that, you could DM us, and I'd be happy to send it to you in the mail. That just tells you a little bit more about the Amani Center. We're very glad you're here. One of the ways we live into our values, we live into our vision statement, is our Circle of Light, which is made up of our ministers and our practitioners and is here for you in service of this community. We show up to do affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment with you and for you when you're going through something, when you're in a moment of struggle or challenge, when you're trying to manifest something wonderful that is for you, that your heart is lit up about. We would love to sit down with you and do that work with you. That's our honor. That's the thing we trained for years to do. So with the members of the Circle of Light, raise your hand. And so these are the people you can reach out to. We got several here today. Don't take it home, folks. Don't take that heavy stuff home. Sit down with us. We would love to do a few moments of that with you after service. Okay, now we'll just go through our announcements. Here is the month we are in, August, and our theme is the joy of sacred service. And today's the 18th, so we have the very wonderful Reverend Mitch Austin speaking. Always a favorite here at the Amani Center. Love to see it. And then next week, our very wonderful Reverend Sherry Wynn will be closing our month out. Also a favorite here. Someone who can just put your feet back on the ground when you find them swinging up over your head and you don't know what's going on. And that happens. Okay, so we are in the midst of a Pampered Chef fundraiser. And so that includes a delicious Pampered Chef lunch that our Pampered Chefs are preparing right now in the kitchen. That's going to be available after service. We'll have a donation basket. You can throw something in. But also, we are doing the fundraiser for purchasing Pampered Chef items. Kathy has put this together, Kathy Clark Amos, so that we can raise some money for the center that way, and you can get those special Pampered Chef items that you've been meaning to pick up. So right now, Gina has the catalogs back there. There's a code you can scan. If anyone would like a catalog, just raise your hand. She will bring it to you very happily. If you know someone, if you have gifts to buy, this is a great way to support the center. Oh, great. We got lots of hands up. So you scan that code, and it will take you online. You can purchase everything, and it'll go right to the Amani fundraiser. And that's just another way to support the center, but also to get some great items. And if you have any questions about any of the products, you can talk to Lisa, who's here today. With that, we're doing a raffle, which we're going to be actually pulling the tickets today after our workshop. So you can get more raffle tickets after service. See me if you want to get some of those, or Gina, and all of the raffle items are on the table. So you buy your ticket, you write your name and phone number, and then you drop it into the bag for the item that you want. That way you can put all your tickets in one. If there's only one thing you're interested in, you could spread them around, whatever works for you. That's just another fundraiser. So that's some stuff that's going on today. In addition to this wonderful workshop, and I'm going to ask Monica to come up. Here she is. She's going to tell you a little bit about this workshop. Mitch brought her here. So here's Monica.
Well, good morning. Monica Hart, and I'm looking at the photo, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I hope I'm consciously aging and living. So whenever I'm invited to a workshop, the first question that goes through my mind, I don't say it out loud, so who is this person, and what does this person have to offer? Like, why are they here doing this? Well, I can tell you, I'm living through it, conscious aging and living embracing this whole idea of aging. I'm still kicking and screaming going through it, okay? I want to be fully transparent. And what I found, I've been doing these programs in the community from 50-year-olds all the way up to 100, however long you are going to continue to be in this physical body. So, what's in it for you this afternoon? We're going to do about 2 hours. You're going to be really involved in, first of all, getting in touch with what are those fears about aging. Ageism, unfortunately, is raging out there. And how does it affect you? And we're going to take a look at transition, change and transition. There's a difference between change and transition. And then we're going to ground everything in gratitude, a practice of gratitude that I learned from Dr. Robert Emmons, who is a local professor at UC Davis that teaches gratitude all over the world. So please join me. I'd love to have you come and be a part. It's 2 hours. We'll see. This is for you. We're just going to go with the flow, with your consciousness wherever it takes us. So thank you.
Thank you, Monica. So that's going to be a great workshop. You can just stay afterwards. That's why we have the lunch, so you can grab a bite and then come on in here, and that will get started. Okay. Full moon is tomorrow, so we will be doing our ritual here in the space. Everyone is welcome to join us for that. Those are a lovely way to reflect on what's going on with this particular full moon. How is it affecting your life? Do some journaling, do some meditation, we have some time to chat about it, to share. So show up for that at 6:30 tomorrow. Yes, 6:30. And then we are looking for a new board. So the board that's currently serving the community has been serving for a couple years now. Time for some change. So if that is sparking some interest to you, if that's something you might be interested in, we're going to be doing a board social on Sunday, September 8th after service. So that will be an opportunity to stay, talk about it, hear if this might be something that you could do. And some of you might get special invitations because we're thinking about you and thinking you could be someone who would serve. So stay open, folks. It will bless you. It will give you a way to step up in the community. So that's coming. Stay aware. And then this slide got weird, and that happens sometimes. A team play date is going to be Friday the 23rd. So Nicole and Steve and Addie run that, and we fill the room with teens who have a great time. If you know a teen who should be here for that, it's free, it's open, it's very welcoming. Invite them. I don't know what that is. Oh, all the other ones disappeared. That's just a recurring one. So I know there's yoga, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and meditations every Saturday. Reverend Belinda led the meditation yesterday. She's a fantastic meditator. She had a group of like 5 people. So that's every Saturday morning at 9. There's different people doing it. Jamie's doing it, Nicole's doing it, I do it occasionally. So show up for that. It's a great way to start your weekend in a centered, intentional way. And it's just an hour, and it's free and open to everyone. I need to work on that slide, I guess. All right, so that is the last of our announcements. We're going to silence your phone if you haven't already, and we will take a moment to bless the service. So this is our chance now. We've had our time of social. We've talked about what's coming up, and now we're going to get quiet and go within. So if it feels comfortable, you can allow your eyes to close as you receive that cleansing breath in and releasing it. And when we do this together in this space, we're sort of gelling into our oneness. We are always one. There is only one, but it's really good to take moments to turn towards it and recognize the truth of that and to just revel in our oneness. So that's what we're doing right now, as we know that we are one with spirit, with the divine, with the universe, with God, whatever word you use. We're one with that divine energy that flows in, through, and as each and every one of us, and which created us, and which brings all things about. And so from that place of oneness and connection and empowerment, we know that today's service is divinely led, divinely unfolds, is just what it's meant to be, and that everybody hears exactly what they needed to hear. They bring whatever gift and light they're meant to shine today, and they receive it from others as well. And then we take that with us. It uplifts us, it raises our vibration, it keeps us centered and in our divine purpose so that we can go back to our families, to our communities, to anyone we see or meet, and in that way raise the vibration as well, sending this trickle of a higher vibration, a more loving and light-filled vibration across the planet. So I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who listened to that small voice in your head, said yes, showed up, and I'm grateful to everyone who shows up in service for this community, our greeters, our sound person, our live stream person, our ministers, our practitioners, the people who set chairs or volunteer their time in any way. I am just grateful for the Amani Center and all that it brings to my life and all of our lives and to the world. And so from this great place of gratitude, I release this word into the law, knowing that as I speak it, it is done and that all is truly well. And together we say, and so it is. All right, and I'm going to bring up our practitioner of the day, Reverend Sherry, and she's going to lead us through our affirmation.
Oh, not there. Okay. It's up there. Can you see? Okay. So we're going to do this 3 times. And the first time you do it with attention and enthusiasm. And the second time, you're going to bring your attention back into your heart, so you're saying it softer. And the third time, I'm going to say it, and you're just going to go deeper and listen. Okay. I am gentle with myself, my family, and the world, knowing we are all healing together. I am gentle with myself, my family, and the world, knowing we are all healing together. I am gentle with myself, my family, and the world, knowing we are all healing together. Brought to us by our spectacular Reverend Mitch.
Song to lead us into meditation. There we go.
All we need is He. 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 All we need is He.
It's a great way to get into meditation. So I'd like you to just empty your hands. For those of you that are meditators or not, we're just going to take a little brief time today to center ourselves. I'd like you to close your eyes. Make sure your spine is upright. And we're just using the breath today. That life that lives us. It breathes us and brings us life without our doing anything. So I just want you to notice this beautiful breath that is the life-giving aspect of us. And we're going to ride that current today to take our attention from the outside and our busy mind in that wave and current, bringing us inside to that sacred sweet spot in ourselves where ease and rest, calm and peace abide. So just watching the breath in and out, open-hearted, awake and aware in a soft way. Just be with your breath in appreciation, awe, and wonder. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the current of your breath. So continuing to stay in this place of connection, we'll do a prayer together. And let my voice be the voice inside you. Might be different than the way you pray. And I will say it in the first person. I am awake, alive, aware, deeply connected to the creative source of all life. And I recognize and see it in myself and others. I welcome it. I make a space every day to remind myself that I can connect with it inside me, and it becomes my internal guide. Its nature is to bring all things into harmony and balance and light and peace. And it exists everywhere at the same time in everyone, regardless of the appearance or circumstances. So this I am in me opens to a vibrant, healthy body, full of energy, open to a compassionate, gentle, kind, loving, and powerful emotional self that flows easily and effortlessly in the world and my affairs. I am awake to the clarity of my mind and how I can direct it at will where I choose to put my attention. So I look at the larger world with all its unfolding, falling down, loudness, and uncertainty, and I turn to the permanent awareness in me and bring to bear the truth that light, goodwill, peace, harmony, and the good for all is the truth. And I choose it every day, knowing that it is my way shower, and I am grateful for the power of its presence as it reveals what is next for me to be and do. Gratefully, I release this knowing it is done. And together we say, and so it is.
I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. Dropping, 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 dropping down. I am dropping down
to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering to the truth of who I am, to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down.
Can we give it up again for Gary? Isn't he amazing? So it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm so glad you're here today. Turn to somebody and say, glad you came today. Glad you came. Let's welcome each other. The power of community. I love it. A full room. You know how hard it is to get a full room in August? Maybe you know. I don't know. Some people here know. So I feel honored that you're spending this beautiful day together. I wasn't here back in July. Who went and saw Gary when he was here in the center? Wasn't he amazing? And the reason I want to point it out is Gary's a friend of mine, but he's also an incredible human being. He tells stories with songs, and you're like in another like dimension of life. I think you're going to have him back, right? Yeah, so if he comes back, make sure you don't miss it, because you're really going to love it. I gave up my Sunday for him, and what a wonderful person to come do that. So a lot's been going on. World's been kind of judgy, hasn't it? A little judginess going out there, neighbor against neighbor, right? And you know what they say. You should never judge somebody unless you walk a mile in their shoes. That way you're a mile away and you have their shoes. We need a little levity, don't we? My gosh. We need to have a little fun. We need to have a little fun. On a more serious note, for me, some things have been happening. They're exciting. I got my Provisional Centers for Spiritual License Minister. Yeah, that's not easy. It's like mental Olympics to go get that. Along with that, there is a center who's interested in hiring me as their senior minister. And yay, boo, right? Yay, boo. And I'm just, go ahead. I get it. Go ahead. I know. But this center will never be far away from my thoughts, my heart, and my service. So don't think I'm just going to disappear. It ain't going to happen. I am so grateful for this community that has supported me, loved me, saw me as a minister before I got the piece of paper. Like, we live our values and our principles here. This is an amazing community of integrity, of faith, belief, and love. So I ain't going away. But you need to know, more is coming. I also understand there's other changes going on. The board's switching over, and we're going to talk a little more about that. And I am delighted, and I just want to give an extra plug for Monica Hart coming to the Amani Center today. You know, she has opened doors for me and other centers, so I feel so honored that she would come to Amani and share her love and gifts with us. So please show up. You're going to get that, you know, that playbook for aging nobody ever gave you, right? You're going to get that from Monica and so much more, so I hope you join us. Do you know you have a divine assignment? Who knows they have a divine assignment? Who knows? Come on. Tell the truth. We're in church. All right. And are you on track to complete it? Are you on track to complete it? Because here's the thing. Assignments from a human perspective come in the small assignments. You know, open the door for that person. Let somebody in traffic. And they come in the bigger assignments, you know, like Mother Teresa starting a hospice for the infirmed and poor. Like, that's a big assignment, right? But here's the thing. Here's the spiritual truth about your divine assignment. There is no big or small. There is no big or small in spirit. If the assignment came to you, it's important. Some of the biggest movements have started from some of the smallest assignments, and I'm going to share a few of those with you today. Speaking of Mother Teresa, you know, there she was in Calcutta, having that cushy job teaching all the privileged girls, and she was up on the second level of the very nice building, probably even had air conditioning, you know, like really cushy. And she's looking out the window, seeing so much distress in the streets. People in their dying phase lying on the street and other people just walking by. And she couldn't understand why her order of sisters weren't out there helping them. She didn't get that. So you know what she did? She went out there. Because she said, not on my watch am I going to let people suffer and transition from this world alone. Not on my watch. So she went out there. You know what happened? Anybody know the story? She got disciplined. She got told, we don't do that. You know what she did? She went out anyway, and she kept doing it. And all of a sudden, she started a movement, right? Because have you ever said something's come across your path and you said, not on my watch? Anybody? Some injustice, somebody in need. You're not going to stand by and walk by the body, right? Or the issue, or the discrimination, or the need. And so today, I'm talking about watch and what's on our watch, because all of our watches together create God's watch. We're all on God's watch. That's the title of today's talk. Because here's the thing. God, spirit, presence, whatever you call it, can only do for us what it can do through us. Right? There's no magical justice angel coming down and putting everybody in their place. That isn't how it works. We're all an inlet and an outlet for the love, for the faith, for the connection, for the healing, for the courage. That's us, right? And so today we're going to talk about what's on our watch and how it impacts everything. You know, and you can't help but make an impact. Just your presence makes an impact. Just your being on the planet. Here's what Jane Goodall says. She says, you cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference. And you have to decide what kind of difference you're going to make. And even if you haven't thought about it in a while, what kind of difference do you want to make? Because as soon as you make that decision, it gets in the lens of your vision. And then everywhere you go, that difference, you're going to see opportunities for it. You know, just like if you want to see a red Volvo. Anybody? You go shopping for a car. I might want a red Volvo. And there they are. They're everywhere. All of a sudden, so many red Volvos on the road. But what's your mental equivalent of what you want to see in the world? What's your red Volvo for the world? Maybe it's peace. Or maybe it's more specific that you don't like to see animals not have love and care, right? Maybe you want to work at the shelter, dogs or animals. Or maybe it's the unhoused. Maybe that pulls at your heartstrings every time you see someone on a corner, right? What is it for you? And it doesn't matter how small or tall it was. You know, in preparing for this talk, I love to watch TED Talks. Any TED Talkers in the room? Yeah, I'm addicted. And I came across this 6-year-old boy, so cute, little guy, had his cards. He's up there on the big TED Talk stage. Card number 1. I live in Australia. I'm 6 years old. And his name is Charlie Cooper, if you want to look it up. Charlie Cooper, great little video. It's like 7 minutes. And Charlie tells the story that he had a hard time in school and they tested his vision and he had a hard time seeing, so they got him glasses. But the glasses he got him had to be really thick. So what do kids do when you wear really thick glasses on the playground, right? He got teased, he got mocked, and he started to feel sad. But he was grateful on card number 7 that his mom always knew when he was sad. And so then he didn't want to play with any of the other kids, so he would hide in the library and play alone. See, this is where isolation and separation start to come in. But you know what? Charlie had a thought. And his thought was, and he wrote a letter to the school, what if we had a bench for all the sad and lonely kids? And they liked the letter so much, they sent it to the local hardware store. They liked the idea so much, they donated the materials. A group of men got together, built the bench, and they had a bench, what's called a bench buddy. And all the kids were trained that if a kid sits there, you could invite them to play, or you could just ask them, how are they doing? Now, not only did his bench get installed in that school in Australia, but it caught on fire. And all the schools in Australia, many of which have buddy benches. A 6-year-old boy. See, sometimes we think, who are we? This won't matter. You never know. If it's your DM, right, your divine message, that divine message that's pulling right here, because you'll know it's a divine message if it's pulling from here. And it'll make you feel uncomfortable. That's the thing, you feel uncomfortable. Pay attention to that, because that's your assignment to the collective good. There's only one of us, right? Here's what I believe. Take it for what it's worth. See if it resonates with you. Because I remember contemplating very deeply, why do we come here? What's the point, right? You have to take care of this body, you have to pay bills, you have to do all the taxes. What's the point? And then you leave the planet. I mean, God and I had it out one night, really. And you know what came to me? I believe we come here for each other. I really do. Ram Dass says we're all just walking each other home. How are we doing that? Is there a neighbor who is isolating and never comes out of the house that you haven't talked to? That's your assignment, right? If it popped into your head, that's for you to take up. But sometimes we take our watch assignment a little lightly, don't we? I mean, imagine if a power bigger than you, the big boss, came into the room and gave you an assignment, and you said, well, no, they called, and you put them on hold. I'll just put them, can you hold? Big boss, right? Or maybe you said, I'll have to think about that. Could you imagine doing that? Or how about later? Or maybe when I get around to it. I saw a little sewn thing once that said around to it. Or the big boss gives you your assignment and you say, well, are you sure I'm qualified? Right? God, the all-powerful, knows everything about you. Or better yet, you say, God, I'm sure someone else can handle that. But haven't we all said some version of that with things that have come in? I have. I'll admit it. In fact, when there's a group in the room and there's a need, there's a danger that this one phenomenon happens. It's called diffusion of responsibility. Who's ever heard of diffusion of responsibility? Yeah, it's a real thing. So when there's a need and there's a crowd of bystanders, everyone assumes somebody else has got it. I first ran into this phenomenon when I was in my psychology class, and we were learning about this phenomenon. And they were telling a story of a woman in New York City, true story, who had gotten mugged and beaten and was lying on the sidewalk. Everyone was walking by and assumed somebody else had called, and nobody did. She died right on the sidewalk. And it's not because we're bad people, right? It's not because we don't care. It's that we have this blind spot. We think somebody else is doing it. So that's I just say it so we're aware. This is kind of how we can be sometimes. So we've got to make a decision right now that we're not going to let certain things happen on our watch. In fact, say with me right now, not on my watch. Not on my watch. Will someone be lonely? Not on my watch. Will someone be scared? Will somebody be put down or attacked? Will somebody be bullied? Not on my watch. And senior bullying is a real thing, by the way. It is. I had to deal with it in one of my senior centers. And we all want to be saved. But the truth is, we can only save each other. Here's how Anne Lamott puts it. She says, people help you or you help them. And when we offer or receive help, we take in each other, and then we are saved. We are saved. There are no silos. There are no silos. But what keeps us from doing it? You want to know what keeps us from doing it sometimes? And maybe this is not you, or maybe it's somebody you know, but we should look at it, yes? The 4 Ds. I call them the 4 Ds. The first one is doubt. We doubt that we could actually do it. Or what if we fail? What will people think? Right? We don't feel that we're enough. I've had enoughitis. Anybody? Enoughitis? I'm not enough. They're going to make me do this thing. I can't do it. Right? That's one thing. The other thing is delay, delay, delay. Timing isn't right. Who's ever said timing isn't right? It's a good one. We use it a lot, right? Or what I call the not now syndrome. It's the equivalent of any football fans punting. We're just going to punt. Deal with it later. The other D is discount. We discount the importance of the assignment. Is this really going to make a difference? Is that one bench really going to make a difference? And the last D is dismiss. We pass up the assignment. We assume others can handle it. Surely somebody will do it. Somebody. We don't know who the somebody is, right? Passing the spiritual buck. So let's take on doubt first. Let's take on doubt. Look, when you're given an assignment to do something different, it's natural to feel a little fear, a little anxiety, a little can I do this, right? That's our growing edge. And what I know about is if we're not growing, what happens to things that aren't growing? They're dying. So yeah, you're going to grow when you get this assignment. And you may not feel like enough, but if you are given the assignment, you're also given all the source and supply to do it. I came across a story from a man who had come from Hong Kong to America. He loved America. He wanted to go to a school. He came all by himself. He barely spoke English, so he studied English with a dictionary everywhere he went. He got a job and went to school at the same time. And his passion was to become an artist. But then his family came over. You know what happens when the family gets a hold of him? Artists, they're not going to make any money, right? You need to study business. So he studied business but kept going with his art. And he opened an art gallery finally in the plaza at Kansas City, which is a big deal. It's kind of a fancy place. But here's what he noticed. The homeless people kept coming up to his door. And he felt in his heart a pull. So he started feeding them. Then he went to the park and organized a whole feeding line. Because at one point, his little apartment had burnt down and he had been unhoused. And somebody took him in, let him live in their basement. So he understood a little bit about what that felt like. Then the next thing you know, the city's having a crisis in their emergency room with all these unhoused people coming in without emergencies, jamming up the emergency room and costing a lot of money. So they start talking to the people and saying, what can we do about this? Who can help? And they kept mentioning this artist's name. So the city went to him and said, can you help us with this problem? He goes, I'm not a social worker. Right? He could have said, I'm not enough. I'm not qualified. But he took it on. And he created a foundation called Be the Change Movement, one step at a time, saving over 3,000 lives and $1 million to the city a year with wraparound services for the unhoused, for addiction, housing, spiritual and mental wellness, and medical services. How many of us say, I don't know how to do that? You don't need to know the how. Just start. Everything else will show up. And that one small moment of an artist in an art gallery grew into a movement. That's not an accident. But even the little bits count. Remember, there's no small and tall, but all the little bits add up too. Archbishop Desmond Tutu says, do your little bit of good where you are. It is those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. Even if you just remind someone there's still good in the world. I remember once I did a door ding. You know how you do a door ding? Anybody do a door ding? And I looked around. Because it was a little more than a little door ding. It was kind of a bigger door ding. And this was many years ago. Different version of Mitch. I shut the door and I went in the store. So I come out to my car and there's a note. And the note says, I saw you ding my door, right? And I'm like, oh. And I'm going through practitioner training at this point. This is kind of like junior minister training. And I didn't have no money. I have money to paint his car or do whatever. And he left his phone number saying, I hope you call, right? So now here I am in a crisis of consciousness, right? I don't have the money, but am I really going to become a minister and spiritual leader and do the wrong thing? Because I know God's looking. So I called him. And before I called him, I actually called several auto detailers to get an idea of where I'm going to try and find this money. So I called him, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe I called. He said, I can't believe you called. I'm so glad that you called. You know, people don't call anymore. People don't do this anymore. He goes, you know, I just am so grateful he cared. And I told him who I called, which ones he wanted to go with, you know, and he said, you know, I'll call you back. He never called me back. Now I'm going to cry. See, good people. He just wanted to know there were still good people in the world, right? The other thing we do is we discount. We discount the importance of our assignment. Robert F. Kennedy said, each time a person stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, they send forth a ripple of hope and cross each other from millions of centers of energy, and the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance crumble. See, we're in this chorus that we're sending out. There are no small acts. Anyone know Ed Milet? He's got a blog. He's an author. He's a performance coach. He actually met Wayne Dyer before he was really big. He met Wayne Dyer on a beach in Maui. And Wayne said, you're going to do amazing things. You're going to just hang in there. Like, he was down and out. Finances were bad. Marriage was rocky. He's like, just hang in there. You're going to do great things. And so he did. He hung in there. He started thinking how he could do great things, and he ended up writing a book called The Power of One, which is a great book, how The Power of One More, I think it's called. And then his podcast took off, and now he's an international phenomenon. He's doing amazing things. He's helping millions of people. But we wouldn't know Ed without Ed's father's sponsor. See, Ed Milet's father was a severe alcoholic, very abusive. And the kids were starting to take on that energy. And he knew his dad met with somebody daily, and he noticed his dad started changing. His dad took responsibility for his behavior. His dad started trying to improve himself. He became a better father. And he said, without my dad getting well, I would have never went down this path to help millions of people. It's a great example of the ripple in the pond, and we're all in it together. And the last one is dismiss, this diffusion of responsibility, right? And we know right now, we're recruiting a board. So how many people in here, when they heard we have board openings, thought, well, somebody will do it? You're the somebody. You're the somebody. And, you know, somebody who said, not on my watch, to this spiritual community that almost went under is Marcy Mitchell. She literally, yes, literally put this center on her back in every way you can imagine. The things we see up here, the people who got involved, the people who said yes to the watch and the call, that she kept moving forward. Literally at one point cleaning out the till of change to try and make this place be fiscally solvent. Thankfully, we're on much more stable ground, which is wonderful. But we need a new board. It's not fair to the old board, right? They've put in their moment. And here's the thing. You go on a journey with 5 people who not only are you helping this center, but help each other. There were times when we prayed for each other. There were times when we checked in with each other. I was helping support the board. Now it's going to be Jamie. She's fantastic. And the old board members aren't running away. They're going to hold your hand. And I know somebody here has been called. Now, I know you're going to stand on invitations, but I don't want you to wait for the invitation. If your heart said yes to this, this is mine to do, I'm going to invite you to talk to Marcy today. don't wait, because you'll talk yourself out of it. Anybody ever talk themselves out of it? It happens, right? It happens. You know, the Buddha says, thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Sometimes we're afraid if we go out there and we do the thing or we give of ourselves, we'll become less somehow. But the truth is we actually become more. Now, is there a process to it? Yeah, there is. Right? For me to become a minister, I had to grow. I had to share my light and grow and heal and face some things about myself. And I'm still doing it. Still on my growing edge. So I want you to just sit with these questions. What will you do with your light on your watch? What will you do with your light on your watch? What are you being called to do, to be, to give? What won't happen on your watch? What won't happen on your... Decide now so you're ready. You don't have to talk yourself out of it. For me, it's discrimination. I'm not going to hold my tongue. That's a growing edge for me because I don't like conflict. But I'd rather deal with the pain of conflict than the regret of letting a person suffer in my presence. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch. That's the kind of conviction I'm inviting you to have. Because we're all on God's watch. You're perfectly sourced and qualified. What you do matters. Choose wisely. Blessed be. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. Great talk. All right, now it's our joyful time of giving, our opportunity to support the Amani Center. We have lots of ways that you can give virtually other than just throwing money in the basket when it comes around. There's in the white seat backs there are cards like this that have both a Venmo and a PayPal link you can scan with your phone. You can set up recurring payments through your bank, and then also all of our newsletters will have a little code so that you can donate now. If you're not getting the newsletter, do see Gina afterwards so you can sign up for that, because that's how you know what's going on here at the Amani Center. Whatever feels right to you to give, whatever you decide to give, we just appreciate you. We're a volunteer-run organization. We're an independent organization, so all of us are coming together is what allows us to show up here every week and to keep the doors open and keep doing what we do. So we are going to pass the baskets, and first I'm going to have Reverend Cherry come up and just do a little treatment so that you can kind of treat that money or that digital thing before you put it in, and then we'll pass those baskets.
Well, there's huge power in intention. And so I want you to intend that whatever gift you are giving, it is powerfully received and goes to help whatever is necessary. And so together we know this. We know the power for our own self. We know that we live in an abundant universe. And we know as we give, we receive. And so we let go of all the stipulations about how that has to look or be. And we just intend to be generous with everything that we have. And we give selflessly. And we know that this is the way that love acts. And so together we say thank you, and so it is.
Without fear, I give out of love. All I need is here. I know God provides an endless supply. I open my... Thank you so much for having me here with you. And as we enter this time of giving, I thank you from the space of the center's heart, because I know that when we're in the flow and we're letting go easily, it is coming back 20-fold, 10-fold, 100-fold. That's just the way it works, it's the law. So that's how I give. I give from my heart. I give from my heart. I I give without fear. I give out of love. All I need is here. I know God provides an endless supply. I open my hands and watch my world come alive. I give from my heart. I give without fear. I give out of love. All I need is here. And I know God provides an endless supply. I open my hands and watch my world come alive. I give. My heart is open. I give and receive easily. I give from my heart. I give without fear. I give out of love. All I need is here. Sing it with me. I give from my heart. I give from my heart without fear. I give without fear. Out of love. I give out of love. All I need is here. And I know God provides an endless supply. I open my hand and watch my world come alive. Watch my world come alive. Watch my world come alive. I give. Thank you so much for having me. Have a fantastic day.
Okay, I don't see kids back yet, but there's a couple things I do want to share. We are going to stack chairs today so that we have room for the workshop. We're going to bring the tall tables in. So if you're able to help stack chairs, this side we stack over here, this side over there. I want to thank all of our musical guests who showed up in an instant. Gary Lynn Floyd, Amy Bishop, Amy Steinberg, and Leah Morris. I want to thank my husband Frank for at last minute having to drop those videos in, which is not what he signed up for, but he did it. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Yes, and just a reminder, we do have lunch. I think it's all set up back there, so we're going to have, if you'd like to stay for lunch, even if you're not able to stay for the workshop, you can do that. If you're staying for the workshop, definitely get some food, and then we're starting right around 12:30. I'm not sure where we are now. Oh, yeah, we're about 11:30. Might be sooner. As soon as you all have lunch and you're ready to come in. And I think that's it, except now I do see that we have some kids coming on up, which is great. So you guys come up here and, yeah. Yeah, I think she wanted the tables. But, yeah, we can leave front 2 rows for the workshop, and then we're going to bring the tables in, too. Okay, and I'm going to hand this over to Monica to tell us about what went on today.
Good morning. Come on, Lexi. Where's Camden? Where's Camden? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we had another one, but he's sitting back there. Hi, Camden. All right. So today we started talking about how important it is that we lift each other up, that we do good things for each other, and put a smile on another's face and just make their day a little brighter. And I found this wonderful book called Inspiring Stories That Make a Difference. And it's written by kids. Each story is a little different about something that they did to change the world for the better. And I'm hoping that these stories will inspire these kids to start thinking in that way. So we have an affirmation, And
Whatever you do, whatever you say, do something nice for someone today.
thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, guys. Wonderful. Oh, what's that? Yay. Thank you, guys. That's so nice. All right, awesome. So those are going to get passed out. While those are coming around, let's go ahead to stand and sing our closing song together. Reverend Sherry, you want to come sing with me? All right, hold hands, and we will sing together. The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. I will meet you in grace.
And as we go out upon our week, let each of us shine our light in every space we're in with truth, with healing, with kindness, and with belief that what we do matters. I release this word, and together we say,
And so it is.